Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, we are talking about the importance of a pitch deck. And I sound a little froggy today, but I guess that's because I was out partying all weekend. That's how life is in Las Vegas. So, the importance of a pitch deck. I just woke up this morning and I was very tired, just having partied all weekend. And in my inbox, I had a couple people send me pitch decks for my review. So I had roughly $7 million worth of requests sitting there in my inbox this morning. And I got to see kind of the gamut, with these two pitch decks of a good deck and a not so good deck. I'm not going to say it was a bad deck because I've seen people get money with much less. In fact, I had somebody who wrote up a business plan. No, I didn't even make the pitch deck, just made a business plan. And he clearly copied and pasted portions from other sections. It was the exact same sections, not a word changed. And sections were entirely missing. And that guy got money. Okay. So I don't want to say it was a bad pitch deck that I got from one of these people. It was just not so good. And so what is the difference? What made one great and what one not so great? And, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't know for certain if the one that I think is good is going to get funded. And I don't know if the one that's not so good is not going to get funded. I actually expect the one that's not so good to get funded. And I think it might be a little harder for the one that was good to get funded. And the reason for it is, the deck that you have. So if you don't know, a pitch deck is kind of like a PowerPoint presentation that you would put together in order to show an investor in rapid detail some of the information about the project that you're trying to get funding for. Okay. And so you usually talk about what your plans are. You need to talk about how much money you want, what your expected costs are, who your advising team is, that sort of thing. And you kind of have to sell the dream in 12 slides or less. And so the one that I think was absolutely beautiful, had tons of beautiful art in it, and just looked spectacular. Whether or not it's going to get funded is a different question because, the thing they're trying to do, there's lots of people trying to do it. And so their team may not necessarily be the best. And, that's that. Okay. The other one that was not so good looking, that one has a rock solid team. It's a little disorganized, just a little bit, but they're picking things back up. And with the right person making their pitch deck, all their details will be fantastic. It's going to be good. So, I like to say, don't judge a book by a cover, because the investors that I've met and talked to through the years, they all kind of let me know that they don't really care how it looks. They care a little bit. No, they really do. If it looks like a 3-year-old put it together, they're going to wonder why you couldn't have spent the $100 to go to Fiverr and have someone put together a pitch deck for you. But that's almost beside the point. It does have to look good, but it's really about the information you're conveying. I had an investor tell me that they need to know the who, what, where, when, why. And the amount of money that you're looking for and the amount of money you expect to make should darn well be the same slide, because they can do math. I expect to spend this much, I expect to make this much. They can do simple math in their head, right? And so he's no more than 10. I've heard other people say no more than 15. I've met people who are send me as much information as you possibly can, because I like pictures and diving into it. So at the end of the day, you need to know who you're dealing with, who you're talking to, because that person, that investor, funder, lender, whoever that is, ask them what their requirements are. Are you looking for a longer deck, shorter? Are you just looking for an executive summary? An executive summary is 1 to 10 pages of just kind of type with some graphs in there. A pitch deck is supposed to look a little more flavorful. We'll say it's supposed to look nice, because they have to kind of get the feel for what you're putting out, right? So if you're putting out, as an example, maybe you're doing a social media platform for gamers, but you don't have any images whatsoever what the platform is going to look like, it makes it hard to imagine these things, right? Or if you're putting on an esports event. Okay. Have pictures of events, esports events in your deck. That way the investor can go, oh, it's going to look kind of like this. Okay. It's the kind of like, oh gosh, what was his name? Larry something. Oh man. Mm, I don't remember his last name off the top of my head. Met him at an IGDA meeting a couple of years ago, and he gave a presentation that, like, the first night I showed up to IGDA, about asking for money from publishers specifically. And he said, when you put your pitch deck together, you want to include things in there that show the investor, the publishing company, what your thing is like. He was making a reference in comparison, and he was using an example in the case to movie investors, because movie investors, they don't like new ideas, believe it or not. Like, you think, oh, well, new movies come out all the time, so obviously they like new ideas. That's not quite it. When you're pitching things, you need to be able to compare the thing that you're currently doing to something else that's already done well. And if there's a lesson that I've been taught by the investors I've worked with, that's that one, is they don't want to be like trying to make something new happen. They want to see what's already working and how you're doing it better, faster, stronger. All right. So when you're making your pitch deck, you want to make sure that you have little details in there that they can go, okay, this is kind of what you're doing. This is, I see now, because I might have done something similar in the past. And what you're doing is like within the same Venn diagram, it's just a little over. Okay. I get you. So understand the pitch deck. It's not the end all be all of the presentation you're going to have if you're trying to look for money. It's part of the package. So the package includes your executive summary, the pitch deck, obviously, and then the full business plan. The full business plan needs financials. You need like detailed reports and expenses, and you have to actually done your legwork. The pitch deck gets you in the door. Yeah, maybe the executive summary gets you in the door. The pitch deck gives you the chance to talk to them, and then once you've hooked them with the pitch deck, they're going to want more details. And in those details, that's the business plan. You pull all that together. You create some sort of contract. They tell you the terms. It depends on the person you're talking to. But then it goes and, you may get your money. I can't guarantee you're going to get your money if you have a nice looking pitch deck. I can't guarantee your money if you have the right things in your pitch deck. I can't guarantee anything. When it comes to investors and finance, every person's different. And so you need to really know your deal. What you need to know is the thing that you're working on. Don't just try to get into their head and figure out what they want. They are looking for you to know what you're talking about and to see the passion in your eyes that this is a thing that you're going to make it happen one way or another. And they either can join on or get out of the way. And people, when they see someone who knows where they're going and knows how to get there, if it makes sense, they'll want to join. So that's all I got to say on that one. I'll remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. It's actually really easy to find examples for pitch decks. There's this thing called Google. But even beyond that, you can go to this thing called YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of that one. YouTube. Okay. It's YouTube. And you go over to YouTube, and on YouTube, you just type in pitch deck or pitch presentation. Just type that in there in the search bar, and you'll get all these various different projects and their pitch decks and their presentations, and you'll be able to see how other people have done it. And you'll be able to strategize, how can I make mine look like that? Either you do it yourself or you hire someone to do it for you. Okay. And the two pitch decks I was just talking about, the one that looked really nice, obviously had somebody do it for them. The other one that did not look so nice, clearly they did themselves. And there's a clear difference. You can tell. I like to say, and I've said from the very beginning of this show, get it done, not pretty. There comes a point that you have to switch over to making it pretty and not just done. And if you miss that point, you could be leaving money on the table. All right. When you're first starting out, just get it done. Get whatever you can. Get some results under your belt. But then you have to actually dress it up. You got to get the testimonials. You got to make it look good. Nice graphics, good video, that sort of thing. So understand, you don't have to just kind of go, I don't know how to do a pitch deck. Let's just make a PowerPoint and figure it out with like the one finger typing. See that? Yeah. No, go over to the YouTube and figure that out, because plenty of people raising hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, have put their decks and their presentations over on YouTube. And you can see, you can benefit from the money they've spent already and just look at it yourself. It's the most wonderful thing. I love the internet. I wish I had it when I was growing up, but such is life. So that's what I got for you all today. Don't be just a gamer. Be a gamerpreneur.